What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, my sister Darla.
What's up?
And my brother Derek.
What's up?
And this week, we're going to be talking about M. Night Shyamalan's Split, which is apparently a sequel to Unbreakable.
Yes.
Which I never watched. The next one's Glass, right?
Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Mr. Glass. Okay.
You know, I knew
never watched
that there was talks that this movie was getting like a sequel or it's going to be part of a trilogy or whatever.
Mhm.
I assumed that it didn't happen.
No,
And then when I was looking up things on YouTube, I was like, oh, that movie did come out. Didn't see it. Didn't even hear of it. So I don't know if it was good or successful or not. But I assumed it didn't happen, but that was a lie. It did.
Yes. I never watched it. I remember seeing the trailers. I never watched that one. No, I did see this one before.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen this one before.
Oh, well, y'all should have told me. I wouldn't know how to pick this movie. If
No, it's fine. I didn't mind rewatching it. It's just the second time.
Because I was
like,
I thought you did it because we watched Unbreakable.
Did we watch Unbreakable?
We did, but we didn't do the podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched it.
Oh, that's right, because you watched the movie like an hour before go time.
Not always. Today it was. But
yeah, so we ended. It was a last minute cancellation.
Yeah, I was like, I remember watching.
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
Right. No, I picked it because it just showed up on HBO, and I was like, oh, this is something we could watch that might be interesting.
Yeah. It is an interesting premise. The overall movie is about, well, the main character is Casey.
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering if I was gonna. That's Casey, right?
Yeah, her name is Casey.
Okay, thank you. I know there's Casey, Claire, and
Megan.
Not Megan.
No, Marsha.
Something maybe. I don't know. But okay, so our main character is Casey, and the movie is about her. Her and her acquaintances were kidnapped by someone with DID, and that's James McAvoy. His character is Kevin Crump. Sorry, my
Crump. Yeah.
God, you literally said you just watched it.
I was close. It's close. You know, it starts with a C, ends in a B. You know. Yeah.
Not the same.
No.
All right. So he's playing Kevin Crump. So we were talking a bit before the podcast. It's like people making movies. It's like you should tread lightly when you're doing movies about certain disorders and conditions and things like that. And before I even get into the details, I just want to mention, like, the DID community, the people who have this, did not like the depiction of it in this movie.
Yes.
And I would say fair enough. One thing I wanted to mention about it is it does seem like every time you have someone with this, they are a villain. You know,
correct,
or or the other alters are villains,
yeah,
that they have to contend with.
Yeah, and I think I saw someone's comments like they wish there would just be a movie where there's someone living a normal life, because they're normal people living normal lives and they should be depicted that way. Why is it always my alter ego? Sorry, said that wrong, but anyways, that's not even the way. The other personalities that I have, why do they also have to be evil?
Yeah, yeah, which is great. Not the case. Like, if normal people aren't just regularly evil, why would someone, even if they did develop, a dissociative identities, why would those identities be?
Well,
evil?
because they exist and they develop, they emerge because they're trying to protect the person.
Yes.
So their whole job is to protect that person.
That's the whole reason on why that personality exists.
So what is the odds of that person being a bad guy?
Yeah.
And then for them to always be depicted that way.
Yeah, and it seems like that's the case. Of course, that's the case in this movie. I don't know. It's like maybe writers just think of a different route to go with these. Obviously, this has been explored a lot in comics and movies and TVs. You got Bruce Banner and the Hulk. You've got Moon Knight, and I think he's got like 3.
Yeah, is one of them a hippo? Where's the hippo come from?
No, the hippo was that's an Egyptian god.
Yeah.
That talks to him?
Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't finish watching the show, but when I was looking at stuff for this, Moon Knight came up because apparently it is a good representation.
Yes, there was comments on that.
And then so I'm seeing clips of the show, and there was a hippo, and I was like, where did this hippo come from?
Yeah, no, the hippo was the Egyptian god.
I got you.
One of the Egyptian gods.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have stuff like that. But yeah, you were mentioning like when they depict people like bipolar or something like that. It always seems like you've got it where, you know, yeah, they are this person. Or even autism when it's depicted in the movie. I was thinking The Accountant because we wanted to watch Accountant too. Now, I like that movie. But it doesn't it tend to be like when you're depicting people with autism, they're always on an extreme side of the spectrum.
Yeah, and then I think the problem is because, and I mean, I will fault the audience for this too, is like sometimes you think of someone with autism, you only think of the extremes.
Yeah.
Right? You think like, oh, like a Rain Man or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's certainly not the case. Well, there is, you know, the extreme side of things where maybe someone is non-communicative or something like that.
Yeah. Where maybe they have a hard time functioning, you know, within society. Not everybody.
Not everyone is like that. I think that if you choose to have something like this in your movies, then you need to do your due diligence and be respectful of them and their lives and the things that they have to deal with on a daily. But it's also the duty of the audience to be able to separate fact from fiction.
Sure.
And for people to think, oh, everyone with autism is this way, and you know people think that way,
right?
It's
like, no,
it's silly. And for you to think that everyone with DID must also have an evil personality is silly.
Like one personality.
Yeah, and the thing is, but people do it, right? You figure Jaws came out and people went out there hunting sharks.
Right.
And it's like, look, I'm no fan of sharks,
right?
But I'm not about to kill it either.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like when I see something like this, and it's like, if I question it, I'm like, I want to do more research on this. I want to learn more about it.
And I feel like sometimes, like, that's what gives it more awareness. And it's like, that's the whole purpose of movies, books, TV shows. Like, it's a temporary escape of realism that entertains us. But it also can be informative as well. We're informative in a way where, like, okay, this is a real thing. Let me go see what it actually is. I'm not taking what I see on TV or in a movie as that being the real representation. Because, like, people with DID and people with autism, there are some, you have extremes on both levels. You will have that. But there are plenty and numerous of people that can still function, take care of themselves, carry a job, have families with these disorders. So you can't, like, oh, I watch a movie and now you think everyone is like this. Then that's not the case.
Yeah. Now, of course, this movie is written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, so, you know, of course, you know.
It tells you a lot.
Yeah, that tells you about it. But let's get into the actual movie. So, like we mentioned, you got the three girls. They were kidnapped. They were kidnapped at the very beginning of the movie.
Very beginning. 3 minutes in.
And I noticed that you could see the camera crew in the reflection of the car bumper.
Yes.
I did not pay attention to that.
Yeah, like the camera was slowly moving up on the dad, and you could see the camera crew. And I was only looking because I was like, oh, I wonder if they, like, you could see, like, James McAvoy, like, walking up on him. And I was like,
it's just...
is that, like, 5 people? So, yeah, you can see the camera crew. Sorry. That should be a nitpick, but...
That's okay.
That was definitely a good nitpick.
I had to point it out. Look, man, you got to scrub that out.
They do. It was someone definitely...
It's someone that's supposed to catch that.
Someone didn't do their jobs. For sure.
But okay, so the girls get kidnapped because he knocks out their dad or drugs them.
Yeah, I guess he beats them up, I guess. Or I don't know. They didn't really
don't
show
talk
it.
much about the dad after that.
Well, he called and said they were kidnapped.
Yeah.
And then he just gets in the car
And drives off with the
And
girls.
drives off with the girls. Like, okay, so he turns around and sprays the 2 girls.
Yes.
Now, okay,
yes.
Casey? Yeah.
Yeah, Casey.
I'm like, all right. Opening the door slowly won't help you get out.
I'm thinking the hesitation was due to her own fears, because you got to remember, she's a victim. She's a victim. She's living in an abusive household, and that maybe her hesitation has to deal with that. Where she absolutely has a chance to get out the car, and at first I'm like, get out the car.
Yeah.
But I will like to think that maybe that's where her hesitation comes from.
That does make sense.
I took it as you have this metaphor throughout the movie of the beast or the animal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if I move quietly and slowly, the animal won't notice that I'm there. Because he really didn't pay attention to her.
I got problems with that too, but yeah.
So it was just like, if I don't startle him, I could possibly get away.
Now, before you mention the problems with him not paying attention to her, I think it kind of makes sense. They mentioned he was stalking the other 2 girls, not Casey.
True, but here's my kind of point to that.
They were all 3 walking together?
Well, yeah, I guess he should have seen that. I wasn't going to say that. Do you get into your car and not notice your passenger seat?
And I don't, but I guarantee there are probably some people that do.
Like, I've noticed my passenger seat.
the passenger seat. You can get me with the back seat sometimes.
Right, like, I mean, now someone might be hiding my back seat and I won't notice, because I sit in the front. No one should be back there. So if you're back there, you got me.
Yeah, but the passenger seat, yes.
Yeah, I feel like, how do I get into a car and not notice a whole person sitting there? And then to Derek's point, he had to know they were at the mall when they were leaving, which then if you watched them leave, he saw that there were 3 girls there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because it's like, even if you got tunnel vision, like, and let's say, like, okay, he's determined just to take these 2 girls.
Well,
in reality,
who was watching? Was Patricia watching?
Oh, maybe you're saying maybe, but okay, but so the 2 people that's really in on this game is Dennis and Patricia.
Yes.
I don't see either one of them screwing up that badly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Hedwig.
I was like, maybe it's Hedwig.
There's no way they had him watching.
No, because they were using him the entire time.
They were using him the whole time, etc.
Etc. So he gets them, and so he's keeping them apparently for food.
Yes,
they're there for food for the beast, so we'll talk about that. So I want to talk a bit about James McAvoy here. Because so obviously he is the character with DID, and I do have to say, like, he did some acting in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I'm going to say carries this movie, because the writing is not great, of course, because it's M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
So, but James McAvoy did some acting.
Oh yeah,
he did some acting in this movie.
He was absolutely great in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, feel like if it was another director and the movie was written better, he would have to have been nominated, because he carried the movie.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's like, oh, you did all this great work in this movie.
Yeah.
And also, I want to mention too, Anna Taylor-Joy also did a very good job.
She did an excellent job.
Yeah. And this is like one of her first movies, like, known movie.
I wouldn't know.
So, obviously, playing the person with all the different alters, I like, between the different alters, like his posture, voice, facial expressions, mannerisms, all of that, like, he changed them completely for each person.
Yeah.
That's difficult to do. I think we were talking about before whether, DID could be difficult to diagnose, because you have to figure out whether a person actually has DID or If it's someone, pretending, and people do, obviously. And I mentioned how difficult it would be to actually pretend, right? And I just think James McAvoy, like the way, like it's just like a completely different person.
Yes.
With each one of the alters. Yeah. Which I mean, hats off to him for that acting. That was good.
Yeah, I think I'm saying like one of the things that they got right in this movie is that within a system, obviously it's the same person, but each personality will use the body differently, and he said that he got that right, and it's just he really did, just like you said, like just the complete change. And just the way he talked and moved and everything. It was like you could tell the difference between Barry, Patricia, Dennis, and Hedwig.
Yeah.
It was a huge difference between all of them.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Did we actually see Barry? That's the question.
I don't think we actually did.
Until the end.
No, but I would say that Dennis probably did a good job.
Yeah.
Because the first time the doctor lady thought he was being weird, but didn't really pick up on that wasn't Barry.
Yeah.
Until the second time.
Well, the first time, what made her question it was he fixed the bowl.
Because he was straightening up the office and he left his sketches behind.
Yeah. So let's mention that because the doctor is a big part of the movie.
Dr. Fletcher.
Yeah.
Dr. Fletcher. So this is his therapist that he sees. And we're introduced to her where she's first meeting, quote unquote, Barry, because Barry emailed her saying that he needed help. And then all of a sudden he's acting like, oh, no, I don't really need help.
Yeah.
And evidently it wasn't Barry, it was Dennis.
Yeah. Oh, and the thing is with Barry was the persona that they choose, his personalities choose to control who had control over the body.
Yeah, he was the one that now I can't think of the correct word
to bring him into the light is how they refer to it in the movie. I don't know if that is the correct terminology for that or not, but he got to decide who was in the light.
Yeah, he's the one that got to make that decision. Yeah. My question to the system is, why does Kevin not have control of the body, guys?
I'm guessing
because all of them are there to protect him.
Yeah.
So Kevin can just not be there, evidently.
Basically, that's what they're thinking. Is it's best for him not to be there. That's how they can protect him.
I guess.
Because in one scene he said, because there was like, he's not strong enough.
Okay.
He can't protect himself. Which, going through everything he went through, that's why you develop the different personalities.
Yeah. So, I lost my spot.
You were talking about the doctor.
Pretending to be Barry
at the doctor. Okay, so the doctor. I don't like her character.
I don't either. Yeah, I think she's pretty awful, but.
Also, I think in this movie she's supposed to act as the audience's insight into the ID, and I think she does a horrible job at that. I don't
know if that was. I always saw her as like the exposition piece, not her insight into understanding it. Because I always felt like in here she was less concerned about his well-being and more about the research she can do.
Yeah, that's what I took it as.
Because she had her own theory about whether or not that they can develop essentially a superpower.
Yeah.
And the other professors and stuff were saying absolutely not, but she was saying that they could.
And I felt like that's what was her downfall. It was that her being his doctor and studying this, like it'll eventually be a breakthrough for her. You know, this would be a lasting legacy for her. Because he even asked, like, okay, you know, you're getting older. What happens when you die? And she's like, oh, you know, I've been sending my research to this institution. They would be happy to take over. And I'm just like, not another doctor. You sending them to an institution. So I was like, yeah, this is about her own game.
No, she said she had a doctor in Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's what it was, a doctor?
Yeah.
I thought it was a. She said it was an institution.
Well, the first time I watched this movie, my understanding, I guess, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention as much, but my understanding of it was that the rest of the community didn't believe DID was something. And then now that I watched it, I realized I'm like, no, she is on like, oh, these people are supernatural, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Which, in a way, I'm like, that is disrespectful.
Well, no. I think it's not. My understanding is that not she was saying that they were supernatural, that they had the ability, that if they to develop a natural personality.
Yeah.
Not that them in themselves is, but they had the ability to develop that personality.
Yeah. And which to me, I think I kind of agree with her colleagues on this.
Well, that's insane.
Like, she went to a kind of an extreme in some of the beliefs. Like, you know, they can basically saying like a personality can do, or one of the alters can just, like you said, do something more than human.
Yeah.
And while obviously, I mean, nowadays we have a proof that there can be vast differences between the alters, right? But you're still limited by human ability.
Yes.
You know. And so yeah, I don't know. She seems not great.
Yeah, I agree. I think because her research is so far fetched. And yeah, and I mean, I guess at the end of the day, in this movie, it was
true.
It was true.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's the, I guess, the creative movie license there, right?
Yeah.
You know, so obviously here, because it's Movie Land, one of the alters actually is superhuman. I mean, yeah, okay, I guess. But I don't know. She didn't make any sense to me.
No, I think she was just a ridiculous character, and she only serves the purpose to be exposition. You know, she's the one who gave us background on Kevin and Barry and all of them.
Yeah.
So she only serves to basically tell us the story that the movie wasn't telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the doctor. Now we've got Casey and her story. So obviously when they first get kidnapped, Casey is the one that tells did we say Marcia was her name?
Yes.
All right, I don't know.
It's Marcia.
Marcia?
Yeah.
All right, we were close. She's the one that told her to pee on herself so she didn't get harmed by a dentist. And you know, that worked and that came from her experience, which actually I think this part of the storytelling was pretty good with Casey and her character. Obviously she had experience in this and you saw it influence her actions.
Yeah, I think she had a more like a softer approach because Claire was like, we should just attack him, and I'm like, Claire, I'm with you. Like, we just fight. But Casey's like, well, no, we don't know what this is. We don't know what's happening. And at first I'm like, what? But then it made sense because gather your information first.
Yeah.
Figure out what's happening. Then you can figure out what's the best play. One is like, protect yourself.
Yeah.
And then you feel like, what is the best play here in order to get out of here unharmed? So it's like, after a while, it's like, I understood her.
Yeah.
Yeah, which again, I might have agreed with Claire too. It's like, all three of you fight him, but I mean, she has a point. What happens if you can't overpower him?
Yeah. Then what?
And her thinking is, let's try to get out of here. But to get out of here, we have to figure out what we're facing.
Well, that is also too. Let's say you do overpower him, then where do you go?
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. I mean, there were times where they got away from him, and they still couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that was good, and obviously, so we get bits and pieces of her backstory as we are watching the movie. Her father was teaching her how to hunt, right? So, I mean, I think there was a parallel in Stalking Prey, throughout there. And obviously, you know, her uncle went on these hunting trips with her, and he was abusing her. Yeah. Man, she should have pulled that trigger.
She should have, but I mean, she like 5 years old. But I'm like, girl, pull that trigger.
Cause she thought she had that gun right on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, man, please pull the trigger.
I was like, he had the line. It was like, you could have killed me. I was like, I think she wanted to.
She wanted to, bro.
Like, I think she wanted to. The real sad part, I think, of this was by the end of the movie, we find out that her father dies, and then she was put into custody with her abusive uncle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is like, that part, I'm like, oh. So now she is growing up still in this household. They mentioned that she goes to detention on purpose and things like that.
She runs away a lot.
Yeah.
All her shirts.
Yeah, that was another thing because they brought it. I think Hedwig brought it up because Dennis is a neat freak.
Yeah.
And so basically, something he's like, get rid of the shirt. It's dirty now. You got to get rid of it. And she had on like 5 layers of shirts.
Yeah.
And it's because when we get to the last layer at the end of the movie, you see all of her scars. You can see some of the abuse that her uncle has put on her.
Yeah.
And so it's like you understand like why she had on so many layers of clothes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought that was good writing in a sense to understand her character. And as we mentioned, Anna Taylor-Joy did a really good job with the character. Was pretty good. There's not much like story in the middle. They're just kidnapped trying to escape.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, not a whole lot happens in this movie.
Yeah. But by the time we get to the end of the movie, where more things start happening, the therapist comes to his place. Okay, so she visited. That's his place of work, right?
But he also lives there, and she knows that. He lives
there? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So she comes there, and I guess she starts to realize that he might be the kidnapper of these girls by the way he's talking about the beast, and it has to feed on what impure was the word?
Yeah.
Yes.
Impure girls or something like that. So she does do something smart and stuff something in the door so it doesn't lock.
Yeah.
I mean, that would stop the door from locking. Was she doing that first? She was leaving. So was she figuring there was someone else there?
I'm thinking by that time she pretty much figured the girls were there. And at least if nothing else, they will have a way out.
Okay. Of the kitchen.
I don't like the therapist or psychiatrist or whatever she is in this movie.
A few points to me don't make sense. So she has to use the bathroom and she finds the girls in there. If you had the thoughts about it, he was letting you leave and call the police.
911. Yep.
You're searching around the place and then you found the girl. Well, now, like, what are you going to do? And then it's like she's older. I'm like, there
was nothing she could do.
Yeah. So it's not like if I find them, I can carry them out or something like that.
Yeah, you're better off just calling
the police. Yeah, do that, please. But she doesn't, of course. So she finds the girl, and then he finds her, and he's upset. So that, and then her writing, say his name.
Yeah.
Kevin Wendell Crumb. And it's like, okay. No, I guess it's nice. So, Casey now knows that she needs to say that, but honestly, who were you writing that to? They were all trapped.
I'm thinking anybody. If anyone comes along and finds out what happened, they will have the note.
Okay. All right. All right, I'll accept it.
Yes, anybody.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it too.
Yeah.
That anybody that comes up behind them.
Yeah. So now this is the portion where we get the beast. So this is the part where you take creative license with everything, right? And so he does actually have a altar that is superhuman. I feel like the display of his superhuman abilities is kind of lame.
I think that was just to prove the point because remember the doctor was saying he'd be able to climb on walls and the thick skin, so they kind of had to show us that is a thing.
But you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of my writing when I was 15. And it's like, oh, this character can do this, and then like, and so he does this. It was there's no lead up to it. It doesn't make sense in the scenes, like him climbing on the wall. Like you said, it was just there so we can see that, oh, he really can climb walls or whatever. But what was the point?
There was no point. Only for us to say like, oh, she was right.
Yeah. And then I guess the thick skin, that was fine. You showed that when she tried to stab him and the knife broke.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And he survived 2 shotgun shots, which I think that was fine. It was the wall climbing that really got me, because it was like, okay, I think you just did that too.
Yeah, it was stupid and unnecessary.
Also, I think M. Night Shyamalan thinks he's a horror director. He's not good at it.
No.
He's not good at it. The ending scenes, I think, were supposed to be like horror movie.
Yeah.
Scary, and they weren't.
Were they supposed to be?
I mean, you had him, the lights blinking, and him going in and out and stuff, and you can tell by...
Because the movie is listed as horror sci-fi.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really get that vibe, but all right.
Well, no, you didn't get the vibe because it was horribly done.
But yeah, I feel what you're saying, DJ, about like him climbing across the ceiling and then breaking the lights and then dashing in and out of the shadows.
For what?
I really didn't pay that much attention to it.
Yeah. Well, it was silly and stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, and not scary either. So
I'll give you that, yeah.
Yeah. But anyhow, this is when we get to the point. Okay, so before you get to all that running around, since she saw the paper that says you say his name, she did pull Kevin back out. And Kevin said he was on a bus in 2014. When did this movie take place?
2016 or 17.
Yeah. So he hadn't been in control of his body for 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently, I mean, they explained it early in the movie. When you bring Kevin out, it just allows everyone to kind of scramble for control. So you see everyone coming back. And then obviously Patricia and Dennis comes back, which are the ones you don't want.
Yes.
And also because he said like he told her to kill him.
Yeah, so he's the one that told her about the shotgun.
Yeah.
First shot, girl, wait till he's closer. She shot like into the hallway. I'm like, yo, shotguns ain't got that many shots. I'm gonna need you to make sure.
I mean,
but it's also a lot of fear too.
She gets a pass.
Yeah.
I will say she was incredibly smart though. Yeah. Like got the bullets, didn't stay there to fill it up, like started running while loading. I'm like, yes. So many times we'd be trying to load and I dropped all the bullets. I'm like, this is where you die.
I didn't remember him taking a chunk out of her leg though, man.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's bad.
Yeah, I forgot about that part too.
Yeah. Also, he ate the other girls. We didn't mention that.
We did not. I kind of felt bad because we didn't talk about. There was a scene where Claire's like, because she found a hanger. I guess Marcia or whatever her name is found a hanger and was like trying to unlock the door, and it was like really dramatic because he wasn't even there anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So you're thinking like, okay, they gonna get out of this.
Yeah. She was like, just picture yourself at home.
See, now, okay, so this is just me. If I was in that situation and I'm high stress trying to get the hanger around the slide lock and you're sitting up there talking, just picture yourself, that's going to make me extremely angry. It's like, just shut up and let me try to open this.
They have a different kind of relationship. Yeah. They're best friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she took it as motivation.
Yeah.
That doesn't motivate the other person. It doesn't.
You don't know that. It doesn't motivate you.
It don't motivate you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
It might be.
She didn't want her to give up because she knew it could be done, but that it was going to be difficult to do.
Yeah, so yeah.
I do have to say about these girls, they did constantly try to get out. They found the hole in the ceiling. They went through, they did that well.
I agree, because a lot of times you get these movies where the person, and I mean, people can do that or whatever. But I like the movies where the person is strong.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to find a way. Like you said, like constantly throughout the movie, they're trying to find a way to get out. Even though the hitting with the chair thing may not have been the best. If you're gonna do that, be quicker and find a sturdier chair.
Well, that's
that's all they had at the time.
I know.
And I took it as like they still continuing on trying to get out of here. Like,
I know, but if we're doing these things,
was he making bread with mayonnaise?
Oh my god,
Yes.
that is in my nitpicks. I'm like, that sound we just have mayo on it? Did talk about some paprika? Gross.
I'm like, Patricia, I thought you were the more sophisticated one. Apparently not. Patricia can't cook.
Just gross.
Yeah. I think the most sad and disappointing scene outside of like the reveal of the abuses was when he said that he had a window in his room.
Just a picture.
Yeah. He was like, "You thought it was a real window? Are you trying to play me?" And the look on, etc. And the look on her face, because I was like, I would have came up with the same idea, like, okay, let me get him to bring me to his room, and I'm going to try to find a way to get out this window. And it was
or at least see where you are.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta talk about that scene a little bit anyway. Guy on the other end of the walkie-talkie.
Are we just gonna do all of the nitpicks? Is that what's happening?
I mean, we might as well. We're talking about the scene, so.
Okay, fine.
Guy on the other end of the walkie-talkie. So he has a walkie-talkie he stole from Dennis. Is from the job they have. And she like goes there and says, "Hey, this is my name. I'm trapped somewhere nearby. Someone has kidnapped me, and I hate when people do this. I hate that I've seen that there's been 911 operators that have done stuff like this where it's like, oh, why are you playing or something, whatever. Who is this?" I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Even if it could be fake, just call the police.
First of all, here's
the mention of her name would have triggered me.
Right,
to call
and
the
she
police.
said that she was with 2 other girls, and the 3 of us got. She laid it out. There is no way this guy does not know that 3 girls got kidnapped outside of a mall.
Yeah.
In that city.
Well, it was on all over the news.
Right. I'm like, even if you do not watch the news, it will find you. And then, first of all, at his place of work, I can guarantee you the news is on all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then, there is no way you do not know, even if you didn't remember the name, that 3 girls got kidnapped 2 days ago. And now you have a girl on the phone saying, "I'm trapped and I need help." And then, like you said, even if you didn't know about the story, but you do, because seriously, you couldn't avoid it.
Somebody talking about that at work.
You couldn't avoid that story.
Yeah.
You would. It would be an obligation to say, "Hey, I got this really weird phone call. The only way she can call me is from inside of this place. She says she's trapped in a basement somewhere."
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Normal horror movie tropes.
He
goes check it out himself.
Yeah. I mean, I might, like, if I thought they were playing a game, like, maybe I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, maybe go check it out. Well, I don't know.
I mean, one, I'm going to take the person seriously, honestly.
Yeah, I just wouldn't take the chance. Oh, they're joking. I would rather they were joking and I quote unquote overreacted to it than it be the truth and I just brushed it off.
But like, even if I overreacted, your only job is to call the cops, and their job is to show up. And if it's nothing, it's nothing. That's their job.
Yeah,
and he won't get charged for it.
No, it's that's what I'm saying. It doesn't hurt anyone to just call.
Yeah. It's the safest bet in that situation. If I get a call that someone is saying they're kidnapped, all right, let me at least call the police. Period.
Exactly. I'm like, this was weird. I don't know if they're joking or not, but this is what they said. This is, you know what I mean. And then I did my duty.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, but to me, and then especially when she was very detailed about everything that happened. You can hear her struggling, like.
Yeah. And she's like, "Please listen to me."
Yes, help me.
My name is.
Yeah, I'm like, You cannot brush that off. It'd be different if it was like a little kid on the other end. Hello, hello. You know, you're like someone kid got on the line or something. Mm-hmm. This was way too detailed. Way too. The three of us were kidnapped. I must be close by. I can hear you. Please help me. Don't hang up. Like, dude, come on. Mm-hmm. Don't make no sense. It doesn't make no one with a half a brain cell will blow that off.
3 people could still be alive if that one guy had taken it serious.
Yeah. Just doesn't make any sense. The story, those 3 girls, that story is all everywhere. National, you know what I'm saying? This is more than a local story.
Yeah.
Just absolutely ridiculous.
Ridiculous. But okay, so we were at the end of the movie.
Yes.
Sorry. So he does not attack her because she's got all the scars we talked about. That was the reason for all her layers. So he lets her go because she's been abused, and I guess his whole thing is the people who have not gone through trauma, you know, they are impure. Yeah. So only those with trauma though they are the strong ones, basically. Yeah. Which I guess is the whole belief of the system, which was what you mentioned, why Kevin can't have control ever, right? Mm-hmm. Because yeah. But he escapes, obviously. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping at the end, I don't know why we left this open, M. Night Shyamalan, but I'm hoping at the end she told the cop lady about her uncle.
I would like to assume that this ordeal gives her the strength to finally tell what's been happening to her. That is how I
want to know, since it is a sequel.
Oh, the answer's in the next movie?
Is it in the next movie?
Yeah, they
does she kill her uncle?
She doesn't kill her uncle, but she doesn't go.
Are we gonna watch it?
I guess we can, since it exists. I didn't think it existed. So
yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, we.
It's got all 3 of them now. So Unbreakable Guy, Glass, and
the Horde.
The Horde.
Gosh. Okay, sure. It's on the list.
So the news. This is nitpick. Sorry.
Gosh. Okay.
You want to talk about nitpicks? All right, give me movie facts first. Give me movie facts.
Okay. All right, did we finished the movie, right?
Well, that was the end of the movie.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Random movie facts.
Random movie facts.
So this was the 5th M. Night Shyamalan movie that earned more than $100 million.
Did you see how much it cost to make?
It was cheap.
Yeah.
It was dumb cheap.
Yeah.
Probably because
$9 million.
There's 3 people in this
they
movie.
didn't scrub out the camera crew from the car reflection stuff.
So they didn't pay the editors. But really, I think they had a really good editor for this movie. I mean, I thought it was.
Man, the movie was shot well.
The movie was shot well. They had a good, editor, cinematography, and all of that. Mm-hmm. So to avoid spoilers for the ending, which the spoiler we didn't tell you guys was that is a connected universe with Unbreakable. That was the spoiler.
That was I'll talk about that in the pics.
Yeah. So it wasn't included in the script, and it was also omitted from test screening. So like no one knew this was coming.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't we know that before the movie came out? No. It was only afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember previous to this movie.
Yeah. So James McAvoy actually broke his hand during this movie because he was supposed to I forgot what scene it was where he punches the door. Mm-hmm. He missed the soft part of the door, and the rest of it was solid. Oof. Yeah. So apparently you can actually see that his hand is swollen, but I'm not paying that close attention. So. Yeah.
It's a little rough.
So I guess Sterling K. Brown, which is the guy from This Is Us. Is that the name of that show? The black guy.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Y'all know who Sterling K. Brown is.
Yeah. You're talking about the real popular show?
Yeah.
With the adopted kids?
Yeah. That was the name of the show, This Is Us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he had a small role in here as a professor, but it got cut from the film. You can see it in deleted scenes on the DVD if anyone owns the DVD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Kevin's father, because it was brought out how his father had left him on a train, died in the train crash that happens at the beginning of Unbreakable.
Yes, that is explained in the 3rd movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so they're all connected?
Yeah.
I rolled my eyes. I know the camera doesn't pick this up. I'm going to try. See if that.
But yeah, they explain that in the 3rd movie. That's why he was left on the train. His father died.
Yeah. Okay. And then So apparently, Unbreakable and this movie were produced by different studios.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually had to get permission to use Bruce Willis' character in this movie because I think Disney or one of Disney's companies produced Unbreakable.
Was it like New Line or whatever?
Probably New Line or something.
Because the movie wasn't supposed to be connected. That's why. If it was going to be connected, you wouldn't have run into the issue of it being by two different production companies.
I don't know. Marvel had that.
That's because Marvel switched to doing their own movies.
Yeah.
They needed a production company at first because they were broke.
Okay, it's fair.
Yeah. That is my last movie fact.
All right, nitpicks. Now I forgot
some nicks.
Everything.
All right. Well, then we'll go in order of movie then. Or close to order of movie. So they get kidnapped in a parking lot of King of Prussia Mall, which is in Philadelphia. Apparently it's a really big and popular mall.
Mm-hmm.
What is the odds that no one is in that parking lot to see this happen? Not only did no one see it happen, no one would then found the father passed out on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, did they find the father?
No,
or, no, he said he woke up.
He woke up.
Oh my god.
With the girl's gone, the car gone.
There's always somebody
There's
in the
always
mall
someone in the mall parking lot. Always.
It would have to be extremely early or late.
No, they were at a party.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
no, I was saying the only way that you can move quickly enough to get away with it and not nobody
He was
see.
not moving
But
quickly.
not in the middle of the day.
No.
No way.
No.
There's
way.
always someone in the parking lot. And it's more than one person.
Yeah. So we brought up previously that Dennis had been following excuse me, Claire and her friend for 4 days. Why not wait until they're by themselves to kidnap them?
No one said Dennis was smart.
Yeah, I was like, you could have waited till like they were in the mall.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, come on, they're teenage girls and they're best friends. I'm pretty sure tomorrow or later that night they'd have been together alone and it'd have been easier for you to take them. Just didn't make any sense.
He had to have them for some reason. The beast had to be awakened at a certain time.
But he still had a few days. Those girls were down there for a couple of days at least, right?
Yeah, she was about to get her driver's license.
Yeah, so I'm saying is...
Or about to get a car, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You would have found within those 2 days an opportunity to take them when they were by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. So I think we brought up, I think he should have noticed Casey in the car and he didn't. We brought up the fact that they were eating mayo sandwiches, and I don't want to hear anyone talking about, the struggle and mayo sandwiches is what I don't care. It's gross.
I would just eat the bread, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just don't put the mayo on it.
I don't even give me bread. I cannot stand bread. Do not do that to me.
It's worse with just mayo on it.
Oh.
You also got to think that they haven't ate.
I mean, no, I'm not talking about the girls. I would eat it too if he was.
I mean, that's what you gave me. That's what I'm eating. I'm saying the fact that you thought to make me a mayo sandwich.
Oh.
I'm just mad Patricia can't cook.
Don't
because at first I didn't know because they had the sandwiches in the room, and I was like, "Is it just bread?"
Well,
and cheese?
she was on like, "Well, do you like the sandwich?" And the secret is paprika.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking like, okay, at least it made them something decent. And then it was just mayo. And I'm like, did you sprinkle paprika on this mayo and get? Man, I will look. You think that would be the time I fight you back?
They did. That's why she hit him with the chair, really. It wasn't that she was kidnapped. It's because she gave her a mayo paprika sandwich.
You give me a mayo sandwich, I am fighting mad. Just do not do that to me. First of all, I can't stand mayo. I am so angry when that. So, like, you ever get like those box lunches and then like the sandwich come like pre-mailed? I want to punch someone in the face. Like, why are we put? Just don't do it. It's always so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so gross. Okay, sorry. If y'all don't know, I do not like mayo.
She doesn't like mayo.
Okay, so we brought it up just a little bit how some of the other personalities that we did not really get too much information about was emailing the doctor trying to let her know that something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why Barry showed up for this like emergency appointment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you were emailing her, then email her and be like, nope, everything's okay. Counsel it. Don't show up pretending to be Barry. Just counsel it. And then also...
Yeah, no one said Dennis was smart.
Other personalities. If we have the wherewithal to write an email, let's put some detail in this email.
I was like, I like one of y'all put detail in there, like, yo...
Yeah, if you
Dennis
have the
is
time,
out of control.
If you have time
he
to send...
kidnapped these girls.
Okay. So they knew he kidnapped the girls, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
They had to. That's why they're emailing her.
And then also they knew that they were trying to do the beast thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so write that in the email.
Yeah.
Did they just not have enough time?
If you had time to send 20 emails, you got time to write 3 more paragraphs.
Well, it was an email for each altar.
No, okay. Still, there's enough time because, dude, at the last scene when she decided to go check it out, right? There was like 13 emails in there.
Yeah.
You got time to write another sentence. I mean, come on.
Or if so let's say another altar did. So I'm saying like maybe like they just didn't have that much time in the body.
Everyone though.
Just instead of setting up a new email, just continue writing the previous altar's email.
Yeah, like I feel like y'all on the same page about this. And I'm like, oh, this is what the last person let off. Please. And then, I mean, don't you type like 50 words a second, a minute or whatever?
Yeah.
You can get 2 paragraphs out of that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I mean, honestly, you don't need to write that much. Yeah. Dennis kidnapped girls. Right. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. 3 words.
Kidnapped.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to let out the beast.
Yeah.
Save us now.
It was only 3. It was only 3. Hedwig, Patricia, and Dennis.
Yeah. Call the cops. Yeah. Seriously. Yes. All right, we talked about the guy. Okay, so I have a problem with, we talked about how, like, when she felt uneasy, she should call the cops. I feel like she should have called the cops before she even went down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, at that point, you feel something off. Again, call the cops. I have a patient. I'm concerned that either he's going to harm someone or harm himself.
Mm-hmm. Also, you know, because they mentioned it earlier in the movie, that altar... They were like, you were banned, right? Mm-hmm. You weren't allowed to be in control anymore because of your history with girls, right?
Girls,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, okay, you found out that he was in control.
Yeah.
Right? You figured it out. You're like, the personality that I'm seeing from you fits Dennis. So I think you're Dennis.
Yeah.
And you're saying like he's acting weird and stuff. Yeah, you 100% call the police first.
Yeah.
Like this may be nothing, but it just seems like.
Yeah, and then why would you go there at night? Like, and then I guess we didn't mention they were at the zoo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was just super weird. Like, why would you do this? Just weird. And also, did the people at the zoo know he was living down there?
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, I don't know. How was he living there?
They're not going to allow that.
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't live at where.
Yeah.
There's no job in the.
Because those different rooms were like maintenance rooms.
Yeah, so I just feel like, I'm guessing they don't know he's down there, and no one goes down there often, which is very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it probably was an unused area.
Yeah, well, except for the locker room. The locker room seemed used.
Oh yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. So at one point we see the computer and there's a video diary of all the different personalities on there. Why? Besides for us.
I don't know. It could be something his therapist told him to do.
All of them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think all. What was it? 23? I don't think all 23. No.
23 would do it.
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah.
Also, you mentioned that Patricia and Dennis were banned, so they wouldn't be able to make a diary.
Yeah, I just really think it was just for us.
They didn't show a video of them though. I mean,
but there were a lot on that screen. I guess I should have counted.
24 was. All 23 was.
All of them were there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we did learn that saying his full name was sort of snap Kevin back, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm only one thinking that should have lasted a little longer than the minute she got. I'm thinking that should have lasted a little longer.
They kind of explained earlier that when Kevin's in control, it kind of makes it a free-for-all for everybody else.
I still feel like it should have been longer.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it should have been longer. Okay. So my last nitpick, if you guys don't have any more.
The final scene.
When she's locked in the cage with them?
Nah, no. The one with Bruce Willis.
Because it's unnecessary?
It's stupidly written. Like this is one of the worst connections I've ever seen.
Yeah.
From something 15 years ago. One, it doesn't even fit. You got the news story going on about this guy kidnapped 3 girls. They're calling him the Horde, which they said someone close to the case. Who knew that Dennis and Patricia were called the Horde.
No one.
No one but the system and Casey, I guess, maybe did. No, she didn't hear about that. It was the doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor's dead.
Yes.
So who said the Horde? Who? Nobody knew that was a thing.
Yep. Yes.
Yep. And this is also how you know it wasn't supposed to be a sequel, because I looked it up. Unbreakable came out in 2000.
Yeah, no, it wasn't supposed to be a sequel.
Yeah. This movie came out in 2016.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't originally planned. I think he decided it before filming the movie. He's like, oh, what if I made these?
What if I make it a universe or something?
Yeah. Because after Avengers, everybody had to make a universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also in that scene, just the most forced line I think I've ever heard in my life. This reminds me of that guy that they took away in the wheelchair 15 years ago. One, how does this remind you of that guy? Did he kidnap 3 girls?
It doesn't remind you of that guy at all. It's not even close to being the same thing.
What reminded you of him?
Yeah.
0 cents. I'm like, this was the weakest, most stupidest connection I have ever heard. Mm-hmm. Good job, M. Night Shyamalan.
What was his name?
Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then also, I overhear a conversation. I be saying to myself, I know the answer to that. I'm not about to hop in your conversation and give you the answer. No. I'm just going to let y'all struggle.
And if you...
And you say you will say like the person's name. Yeah. Like, man, that remind me of somebody. And you be like, John Smith, not Mr. Smith.
Well, no, because his name, quote unquote, because now they all have
superhero names.
Yeah. So his name was Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Dumb. But honestly, it just shows you how bad of a director M. Night Shyamalan is, because what would have been the easiest thing to do? Mm-hmm. Just have that news story on and the camera pans and Bruce Willis is watching it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we all would have been like, oh, wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that would have been it. You didn't need the line. And you wrote it because you're dumb. You didn't need that line.
All you need to do would be sitting there with his raincoat. Rain poncho.
Choking on a glass of water. I'm sorry, because his weakness was water.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. Can I get to my last nitpick?
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So, Casey gets rescued. She's in the ambulance. That man don't see all those scars on that girl. First of all, she's going to the hospital. You're not about to send her home right away.
Yeah, she's going to.
And then the minute you see all of those scars,
you're asking her about
You're asking her a ton of questions, and she is not getting released to her guardian.
No.
Not at all.
Well,
just not happening. No. First of all, she's not going home that day.
The first question they're going to ask is like, was this with this incident?
No, they were old. They were old scars.
They're clearly old.
Clearly, that didn't happen over the weekend.
Yeah.
So absolutely not. Yeah. There's.
Like, are you harming yourself?
Well, clearly she was. But there's also, cigarette burns and all of that too. Yeah. So there's so many questions that we could ask. There's just no way.
In the position of the scars too.
Yeah, just
like unless she doesn't have clothes on, you never see them.
Just absolutely no way. And then the fact that you got bitten by a human, you're not going home that day regardless.
Yeah, you gotta get a shot.
Yeah, I'm just like, they're like, oh, your guardian's here to pick you up. No, she's on her way to the hospital. What are you talking about?
They would tell the guardian to meet them at the hospital.
Well, I mean, you're going to if you were like kidnapped for days,
you're going to the hospital regardless.
Period.
Yeah,
you're going.
Yeah. I just felt like
you got malnutrition, dehydration.
And
the police got to talk to you.
Yeah, just so many things that needs to happen.
Yes.
But that, and I was just like,
you definitely would have been all over this.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
As they should be. Yeah. So, but anyways, I was just my thing. I was just like, come on, guys.
She's not getting released and going home right then and there. Like she was already in the back of the police car.
Well, I'm just like, y'all don't.
She would have been on the ambulance.
Like, y'all don't see the abuse this girl went through. What are we talking about? Mm-hmm. So that I don't know.
Bad writing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that was my last nitpick.
Okay.
All right, so we can talk about the rating. I may have mentioned earlier, this movie was carried by the acting in the movie. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the writing and some depictions I feel like were not that great in this movie. But I will give it a watch while folding clothes.
Agreed. It's not an awful movie. It's certainly not great. The plot is weak and dumb.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, of course.
Yeah, I mean, out of what the 15 movies he's done,
Stop doing movies.
Three of them are good.
Don't
bring that up. You know, people. You know that community hates that movie.
Have you seen it?
No.
I'm gonna make you watch it.
It's trash.
No,
it's bad. It's bad for people who haven't even seen the cartoon.
I stopped watching it 10 minutes in. I turned it off.
What makes me upset is it now. So people who've watched the movie and not the cartoon, now they would think like, oh well, the cartoon has to be horrible too.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Oh. I haven't seen it. I have no desire. I mean, but I don't like the cartoon. And not to say that the cartoon is awful. It's just not my jam.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But you're saying it's that bad.
Oh no, it's down there with the worst movies I've ever seen.
It's on the lines of like Fast 9.
Maybe I should put it on the list.
No. We're gonna have plenty to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we gotta talk about bad movies. So,
that's true.
Do I want to rewatch it? No, but
I don't want to finish however long it is after 10 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like we've been doing too many good movies lately. I'm gonna throw.
Yeah, that's because last year we was on a long streak.
I was gonna throw a curveball at you guys.
I'm gonna put this in perspective for you. He stuffed 23 episodes in one movie. The movie is the whole first season.
The movie is why?
So you watched the Netflix version, right?
Netflix live, live action.
So he took that season and put it into one movie.
No way, because I felt like the Netflix series was rushed.
Yeah, because it was originally 23 episodes.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So he took 23.
Why didn't he just
made it a
2-hour movie?
You know where he could have stopped?
And you know how he solved that? Narration.
No.
Just tell them.
He could have stopped when, what was the name of the guy with the mask when he was on the boat getting rescued and his enemy ends up saving him?
Oh, that was Zuko and Aang. That scene is in the movie.
I don't remember their names. What I was going to say is, that'd have been a decent ending spot.
It would be. Yeah. That was in the movie. Done way worse.
Yeah, okay.
Horribly.
I also give the movie a watch while folding clothes, and that's because of the acting by the two actors. Mm-hmm. You take that out, or if they were acted by anybody else, I don't want to downplay anybody's acting, but it wouldn't have got that rating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only saving grace for the movie. James McAvoy is interesting to watch in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, so like, that's why when you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can watch this. You know, so yeah, watch while folding clothes. I realize I'm part of the problem with M. Night Shyamalan. I keep saying it after I see some of his movies, but somehow I always end up seeing the movies.
That's true. I'm like, you do not like this man, but you've seen an awful lot of his movies.
Like After Earth, God.
Haven't seen it.
Nope.
Didn't even realize that was an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, it is.
I did not know.
I think I've only seen one other movie, and that was Signs. Signs is all right.
I like
Signs is all right.
Yeah. I like Signs.
But that is it.
Yeah.
That's the only other movie of his I've seen.
No, I haven't seen a lot of the other ones. My wife has.
Like The Village, The Happening.
Yeah. Trap is the recent one.
Oh, Trap is his movie?
Yeah. Is that his movie?
Oh, the movie was dumb.
Yeah, Trap.
What about the one where they're on the island as old people?
Old.
Oh, it's called Old?
I heard also dumb and weird.
Of course.
Yeah.
The Knock at the Door or Knock at the Door.
Oh, that was recent.
Oh, that was recent. Wasn't that with the old dude, the wrestling guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude that played Drax.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about that.
I heard it was.
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't good.
Okay. Of course, it's not good. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's our thoughts on Split. If you have any thoughts on the movie, let us know in the comment section below, and leave a like and subscribe for more movie reviews, and we will catch you next time.